Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eddie West Field. It's game number 3 on the season for the Santa Ana Dons as they get set to take on the Huskies from East Los Angeles College. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Football, wherever you may be tuning in from. Santa Ana's first-year head coach Simon Fuentes is still looking for his first victory of the 2025 season. Tonight also marks their last preseason game before they begin conference play next week at Allen Hancock College. Something to make note of, starting quarterback Nate Bento didn't finish last week's game due to an injury, so the Dons had to adjust their offensive game plan this week. Expect sophomore Justin Gill, a sophomore from La Habra High School, to see snaps behind center as it would be his first collegiate start. We're going to have a national anthem here at the Eddie West Bowl, so when we come back, we'll give you an introduction on both teams after this commercial break.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, the Dons taking on the East Los Angeles College Huskies. My name is Noah Alvarez. Glad you can join us here on this Saturday evening. The captains make their way to midfield. Damian Gomez, along with Matthew Gill, out there for the Santa Ana Dons. A few players, 4 to be exact, out there for the East Los Angeles Huskies. Let's go ahead and introduce you to both teams. The Huskies are led by Bobby Godinez, who fills in as a head coach after former head coach Arnie Robles left for a Division I football program late in the summer. Godinez and the Huskies are 0-2 on the season after losing a 17-14 nail-biter last week to Palomar College. They've struggled on offense this year, averaging only 17 points through their first 2 games. And for the Dons, again, they're still looking for their first victory of the 2025 season, so someone tonight will come home with their first victory of the year. Starting quarterback Nate Bento was knocked out of last week's game in a 38-9 loss to Chaffey College. Expect to see sophomore quarterback Justin Gill get a start, his first collegiate start for Santa Ana Dons. The Dons were promoted to the National Division this offseason and will no longer play the teams like the College of the Desert or West LA or Glendale College that we've seen the past 4 to 5 years. They have a much tougher schedule this year as they're now in the National Division, the Northern League, and are playing some tough programs. And it's the first time in a while they are playing these tough programs. Tonight's match with East Los Angeles will be their first meeting since their shootout in 2017. Santa Ana defeated the Huskies at their home field by a final score of 75-61. Yes, you read that correctly. 75-61 was the final score of a football game. Sounds like a basketball score with so much scoring, but that took place in 2017, nearly 8 seasons ago. Bobby Godinez was the head coach of the Huskies during that time. He served as the program's head coach from 2016 through 2023. He stepped down before last season to become just the athletic director. But as we mentioned, Arnie Robles, the coach last season, he accepted a job with Northern Illinois University, and that forced Godinez to come in and step in as the head coach for the ELAC Huskies this fall. The Huskies will be in the white uniforms. They will receive the opening kickoff. Dons are in the red, kicking from left to right. Ball is on the tee for Tony Salas. One more player for the Dons. Runs onto the field. We're just about ready for game number 3 of the 2025 season. It's a pooch kick. Short. No one goes to get it. The Dons have the opening kick. Wrestled away by the Huskies, actually. One of the upbacks took it from the Dons. The Dons were the first one to get there. Give credit to Nazir Abram, the linebacker on the roster. That should have been Don's football, but instead Elac gets the first possession. They go from right to left on your screen. Keep an eye on starting quarterback who wears number 8, Logan Ebnett, a 6'3" freshman from Salesian High School. That's over in the Los Angeles area. They play in the city section, usually a tough team as the past couple years. 2 receivers to each side. First play, it's a pass. He looks over the middle. He got hit as he threw, and it's incomplete. Ebnett has 569 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. Starting in the backfield with him and wearing number 4 is James Thomas III. Receivers in tight. 2 to each formation. Ball on the left hash. No pressure. Ebnett slides down at the 43-yard line. First defender to get there for the Dons is Porter Nix from the defensive line position. 3 receivers down to the right. Jonathan Alexander on the outside. In the slot is Jaden Thomas. And wearing number 6, closest to the quarterback, is Kamal Jabari. Ebnett on 3rd down and 4. Drops back, looks to the near side. He has one-on-one coverage. Overthrown. Damari Taylor. Man in coverage for the Dons is Caleb Grant, a freshman from Bellflower. First time we call Grant's name. And it's a 3-and-out the Dons force early on. Back deep to return for the Dons, Damian Gomez. He stands at his 11-yard line. Just gets this punt away. That's Zach Abram. A short punt. It takes an ELAC-friendly bounce inside the 15, and it stops at the 12. So that's where we'll see the Dons take over. A backup quarterback, Justin Gill. Where's number 5? The Dons are in their red uniforms. 14 minutes exactly here in the first quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Dons will also be without starting running back Ethan Frazier. He suffered a hand injury and will be out for the rest of the season. 2 running backs in the backfield. Meek is a tight end down on the formation to the top of your screen. Ball is on the left hash. Handoff up the middle. So getting the start at running back today is Anthony Abad. Yard to gain is the 22, about a 3-yard gain. 2nd down and 7. Ball on the 15-yard line. Abad, the deep back. 2 receivers to the near side of the formation. Gill fakes the handoff. It's a swing out to the fullback. He makes the catch. Spins down. That's Brandon Garan, sophomore from La Habra High School. Garan should have some chemistry with quarterback Justin Gill. Both players went to La Habra High School. Quite a few La Habra players on the roster. First 3rd down for the Dons offense. 3rd and 6. Yard to gain is the 22. Huskies with 4 down linemen. Meek on the left side of the formation. Garan motions out to a slot receiver. It's a quick pass to him on the near side. He gets out to the 23. He should have enough. Wow, the referees mark him down at the 21, so he didn't extend the ball out before stepping out of bounds. A short spot there. The Dons run out their punt unit. It's Devin Coleman, who wears number 99, back deep to punt. Gets this punt away from his own 10-yard line. 2 punt returners back deep. They're not going to have a chance to return this one as it rolls all the way to the 49 of the Huskies. So the Huskies will get positive starting field position in their second offensive series. It's a scoreless game between the Huskies and the Dons early on. 12:08 in the first quarter. While we have this break in the action, let's get you the starting defensive line for the Dons. Riker Scott in there at the near side defensive end. Over in the far side, as Ebnett moves a man in motion. That's Pharaoh Naia. Handoff up the middle. No room to run for the running back. Thomas the third. No gain on the play. In there at the defensive line position, Mario Evans, along with Juan Barreto. 4 down defensive lineman. Second down and 10. Ebnett. Pass play, looks far side, tackled down immediately. Jabari makes the catch. And on the tackle is freshman Wallace Falemu. Defensive back from Orange Lutheran High School, one of the Trinity League schools. Falemu plays that nickel position. Caleb Grant is the corner on the near side. Corner on the far side. Ebnett has 3 down receivers. Ebnett looks to air it out deep, and it's intercepted for the Dons. Matthew Gill comes away with it and is wrestled down at the 37. The Dons get their second interception on the season. That was going to be a key to the game for the Dons, as they've only forced 2 turnovers. Still have yet to record a sack on the season. Their defense, who we've seen be very dominant these past 2 years, hasn't been as strong early on in the season. The Dons get good starting field position now at the 37-yard line. First down and 10. Second we'll see of Justin Gill. Garan the D-back. Swings it out to Garan. Garan in the flats. Tries to put on a move. Brought down quickly at the 38. They say 39. 2-yard gain on first down. .10-20 here in the first quarter. We'll see how the offense changes with the different quarterback. Again, starting quarterback Bento out due to an injury. 2 backs in the backfield. Mickey Chinchilla, who's a fullback on the left side of the formation, along with Meek, also on that side. A handoff up the middle to Jaron. Goes nowhere. They do give him positive yards. He gets to the 41-yard line. Third down and 6. The yard to gain is the 47-yard line. 2 backs in the backfield. Meek down on the near side of your screen. They motion Chinchilla. Huskies bring pressure. 2 linebackers blitz up the middle. A catch made on the far side. That's Malachi Beatty. Beatty gets enough for a first down to the Huskies' 48-yard line. He's a talented freshman from Garden Grove, starting to come into his own. First completion for Justin Gill as well on the afternoon. I guess you could say evening now. It's late enough for a 6 p.m. kickoff. Sun is about to set here in the city of Santa Ana. Beatty, the lone receiver on the far side. Gomez here on the near side of the formation. Handoff up the middle to Garan. Pushes his way forward to the Huskies' 45-yard line. And the Dons are without Ethan Frazier, sophomore running back from Villa Park. Will be out for the season. A lot of injuries early on in the year for the Dons. They'll have to adjust. Dons are huddled up here. Second down and 7. Roll out to the right side. Gill throws on the run. A pass intended for Moss. Moss keeps both feet down. A first down on the near sideline, right at the 30-yard line. Gill had to throw that ball under pressure. Moves the chains, Dons, in plus territory. On the Huskies' 29-yard line, looking to punch it in and strike first. 7:45 in the first quarter. Garan, the deep back. Bogdan, the tight end, on the far side of the formation. It's a handoff to Garan up the middle. He makes the first man miss and is wrestled down at the 27. We're seeing a lot more huddles early on, something different than when Nate Bento is the starting quarterback. The Dons like to use a lot of no huddle, play with tempo, get their hand sides in from the offense. But with the backup quarterback in, Justin Gill. The motion the receiver Fabricio Ramirez to the far side of the formation. He's out there with Moss. Second down and 8. Roll out to the left. Gill on the run, looks deep, has Moss. Moss gets it broken up at the last second. Levi Nez makes a play. So Moss jogs off the field. Deacon Moss, the brother of Beck Moss, a former quarterback here at Santa Ana College, played 2 seasons ago. Both players went to Irvine High School. Because the helmet came off of the quarterback, Justin Gill, we were going to have a substitution as Bodie Stafford came in for a play. Before this third down and 8, the Dons do take a timeout. We'll cut to our first commercial break of the evening here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities, a leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
.641 left to go in the first quarter. My name is Noah Alvarez. Dons and the Huskies scoreless, but the Dons are threatening to score here. They're down at 8. After the timeout, Justin Gill can come back in at quarterback after losing his helmet on the previous play. Looks to the left side. The ball is batted down. by Jordan Cook. Cook came off the edge there for the Huskies defense. Now brings up a 4th down. Tough decision here for Simon Fuentes, new head coach for the Dons. You don't want to punt this ball away. You're too deep in the opponent's territory. Probably too deep for a field goal. Would probably be a 40-plus yarder. So the offense stays out. Moss and Gomez to the left of the formation, along with Meek. Yard to gain is the Huskies 19. It's a rollout. Gill on the run to his right side. Can't get the throw off. That's Cook again. Nope. 49 this time. It's Amari Holt. Amari Holt was the one all over Gill as he tried to make the throw on the run. Credit that pressure to the defensive lineman. Turnover on downs, and we'll see the Huskies offense one more time. Their last series ended in an interception. Ebnett and the Huskies are 0-2 on the year. They lost 17-14 at Palomar College. 35-20 was a score in Week 1 against San Diego Mesa. Mesa, one of the top teams in the 3C2A. Ebnett fakes the handoff. No, makes the dangerous throw behind the line of scrimmage. The whistle never occurred. And Jaden Thomas was running. Just a broken play, it looked like, as there was miscommunication between James Thomas, the third. Ebnett threw the ball to his receiver out in the flats. And that was a backwards pass, so it should have been counted down as a fumble. The Dons defenders stopped. So an inadvertent whistle with 6:20 left in the first quarter. They're going to redo the downs. Ebnett gets a second crack at this first down play. Penetration gets into the backfield. That's a play by Porter Nix. Now Porter Nix is listed as a offensive lineman. I think they switched numbers at the last second. So we'll do our best to carry and get you that updated number, because Nix is listed as an offensive lineman and there's a defensive lineman wearing number 50. But we'll get you the rest of the defense. Wallace Falemu as a nickel corner here on the near side. The boundary corner is Caleb Grant. On the far side corner, it is Jacob Gadsden. Second down and 9. Two deep safeties are Jesse Vargas and Josh Patton. Ebnett looks over the middle, has his receiver. A big hit there by Vargas as he wrestles him down at the Dons 40. Or at the Huskies 40. Completion made to Victor Rodriguez, sophomore from Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary High School. The first down conversion for the Huskies. Thomas III, the deep back behind Ebnett on this first down play. He rumbles ahead. No gain as the Dons get good penetration there. I'll set up second down and 10. Two linebackers in for the Dons are Isaac Real and Mac Wolf. Ebnett throws short here to the near side. Catch made by Thomas. Not to be confused with Thomas the third. There's a Jaden Thomas who wears number 3 and a James Thomas the third who wears number 4. We'll do our best to distinguish the two. The Dons make a mass substitution on the defensive line. As they typically do, they have 8 men they can rotate. Sonny Salas, one of the members down on the defensive line, and we'll get you the rest of the numbers. Again, with these red uniforms, very tough to see the numbers from up at our angle in the press box. It's third down and 2. Yard to gain is the 50-yard line. Ebnett Look short to the right side. Lots of space. It'll be a first down for the Huskies, brought down at the Dons 40. Vargas makes the tackle. The first defender there was Josh Patton from that safety position. Now Bagdanoff checks in at linebacker as well. He wears number 33, another sophomore on the roster. First and 10. Thomas the third to the right of Ebnett. He gets the carry. Ebnett takes a big hit as it was an option play. Ebnett wants a flag. In the meantime, his running back does get to the 38, 39, they'll say. That's fair game, especially now with the option being such a big part of the college football game. You're allowed to make contact with the quarterback if he's going to hold it that long. 2:50 left in the first quarter. The Huskies are now in plus territory for the first time. Ebnett to throw. Quick catch and a tackle made quickly by Patton. On the catch is Thomas, the receiver. Third down and 5. Yard to gain is the Dons 31. Get you the starting offensive line too when we get a break in the action for the Huskies. See if the Dons elect to bring pressure. They're still without a sack on the season. Third and 5. 3 receivers down to the near side of the formation. Ebnett looks that way. Now he's forced to roll to his left on the run. He throws it out of bounds. There is a flag in the backfield, which is usually in the vicinity of holding. We'll get you that starting offensive line during this break. At left tackle is Stanley Roybal. At left guard, Aaron Ponce. At center, Louis Aguilar. At right guard is Oswaldo Jimenez. And at right tackle, it's Kendon Jones. So that time it is Stanley Roybal who is caught holding. They back it up to the Dons 46. A third down and now 15 with 2 minutes left to go in the quarter. Receivers in tight for the Huskies. Ebnett drops back. Steps up to his right. Airmails it over his receiver. Nearest receiver there in the area. Well, there was 2. Victor Rodriguez along with Damari Taylor. But way out of the way of both of them. Neither of them had a chance to make that grab, and that'll force the punt unit to come out. Second, we'll see of Zach Abraham, sophomore from Las Vegas. Gomez back deep in his own territory at his 3 as he continues to back up on your screen. Pressure in the face. Abraham just gets this one off. It's a short punt. Takes a high bounce for the Huskies, and they're going to let it roll all the way down to the 7-yard line. 1:41 left to go in the first quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. The Dons last time had the ball. They stalled out deep inside their opponent's territory. We'll see how they fare. If they're able to strike first, it's still a scoreless game. Anthony Abad, the deep back. And Chinchilla to the left of quarterback Justin Gill. He hands it off to Chinchilla, off to the right side. Met at the 11-yard line. A gang of Husky defenders there to make the stop. First one there was Larry Thomas. Starting on the defensive line for the Huskies, Larry Thomas in at one of the tackle positions. Amari Holt, we called his name already. Jordan Cook at the other defensive tackle position. And keep an eye on 91, David Chukwumeka. Big defensive end, stands at 6'8". Has Abad off right guard now. Does get to the 14 before he's met. Nazir Reed comes from his safety position to make the tackle. Third down and 5. Under 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Dons do have to get a playoff as there's about a 15-second differential between play clock and game clock. Meek down on the formation on the near side. Gill drops back to pass. Pressure around him. He now takes off to run. Only gets to the 17. They say 18-yard line. The referee on the far side says stop the clock and move the chains. It's a first down for the Dons. Just enough on that quarterback scramble. That was one aspect of the game. We were wondering ahead of tonight how the Dons were going to fare. While Bento hasn't had the most success on the season airing the ball out in the passing game, he's been exceptional running the ball, knows how to keep plays alive, fights for first downs. And Justin Gill, his backup, shows you he could do a bit of the same as well. So at the end of the first quarter, it's still a scoreless game here at Eddie West Field. We'll cut to a commercial break, and when we come back, the second quarter of action.
This is it.
Have a good first day.
You too, Mom.
Everyone's journey looks a little different at Santa Ana College, whether you're just starting out or starting a new chapter. With flexible classes, valuable student services, and a range of degrees and certificate programs, students of all kinds can find inspiration and empowerment at Santa Ana College. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is...
While we have this break in the action, we want to share a QR code where you can donate directly to the Santa Ana College Athletics program. Know that your support goes directly towards helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. Your donation truly makes a difference. We appreciate you for supporting the Santa Ana College family. First down and 10. Dons in possession. Garan, the deep back, behind Gill. Gill looks to his left. Gets past the defender, now on the run to his right. Not a lot of defenders on that side. Takes a big hit out of bounds. No flag has been thrown yet. First defender to get there is Travion Baker. Gill was a good 2 steps out of bounds when he got contact. Bit surprised to see no flag called. Head referee today is John Gill. I don't think there's any relation to our quarterback, Justin Gill, spelled a bit differently. Second quarter of action. Second down and 6. Dom now going from right to left on your screen. Chinchilla in at the fullback to the right of Gill. Moss down on the near side of the formation. Meek on this side as well. A handoff to Abad. Abad weaves his way to the Huskies' 26-yard line. It'll set up third down and short. And the Dons play in the National Division for the first time in quite a while, and they're playing the Huskies for the first time since 2017. They've been in the American Division the past 6 years. Third down and 2. Yard to gain is the Huskies' 28. Whole playbook wide open for this third down. Gill with the Bod, the deep back. Up the middle, he lowers the shoulder and shoots ahead. Enough for a first down here as the Dons continue to move the chain on this drive. Remember, this drive started at the Dons' 8-yard line, so they'll have a ways to go if they want to get into the end zone, or at least into the red zone for that matter. Garan puts his helmet and comes in from the sideline. Chinchilla's going to head off the field as the Dons huddle up. Starting offensive line for the Dons looks a little different due to the injuries they've suffered on the year. Adam Kahili gets the start at left tackle. At left guard, it's Elijah Clements. Mitchell Jones gets the start at center. Max Ramshaw gets a start at right guard. And Kautoki Barton gets the start at right tackle. Penetration in the backfield one more time, as that's Jordan Cook one more time who blows the play up in the backfield. Huskies defensive line has looked very formidable in the contest early on. Second and 11. The Dons have been sticking with this two running back formation. Abad and Garan both in. Garan motions to the near side of the formation along with Beatty. Gill elects to tuck it and run, has some space up the middle, and is finally brought down at the Huskies 42. Gill does it himself for the second time this evening. Last week, after Bento got knocked out of the game against Chaffey College, Gill did come in for a good amount of snaps, but as a backup, he was very unprepared. 1 for 9 completion-wise. So 1 completion, 9 attempts, 2 interceptions, as it was a day to forget. But Gill this time had a week of preparation with the starting unit here for the Dons. First down and 10. Fakes the handoff to Abad. He had the whole Huskies defense biting, and he finds his receiver Gomez on the near side. They cross midfield, and the Dons are now at the 31-yard line. Nice deception there on the play fake. The Dons do need to lean heavy on their run game. Last couple years, they've been very run-oriented, and they had a duo of both William Saucedo and Owen Smith, who have both graduated on from the program. But that allowed them to be a very run-first team. First down and 10. Abad, the deep back.
25 run.
Finds some space on the right side and gets to the 27 of the Huskies. 10.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Dons are scoreless with the Huskies, but continue to move the ball well. They have been efficient in this drive. Their last drive resulted in a turnover on downs. Two receivers to the near side of the formation. Abad, the deep back. Meek, a tight end, down on the right side of the formation. They swing it out to Abad in some space. Makes the first defender miss.
94 with the first touch. 45.
Cook there in on the stop, as well as coming from the linebacker position, Fernando Alvarez. Second down and 4. Yard to gain is the Huskies' 20-yard line. In their last drive, the Dons used 9 plays to drive 36 yards, but they stalled out at the ELAC 37. Third down and 5. Gill looks to air it out deep to his tight end. A lot of the contact.
95 intended.
And no flag has been thrown. You can make the argument that that was an uncatchable ball by Gill as it drifted out of bounds. Another tough decision here for the Dons. Offense stays out. They're at the 25-yard line. And it would probably be a 40-plus yard field goal. And the coaching staff elects to keep the Dons offense out on the field. Gill with Moss and Gomez out to the far side of the formation. The Huskies look to bring pressure one more time. Gill hit as he throws. This one's a duck in the air. No one gets to it. The Dons are fortunate that ball wasn't picked off. Pass was intended for Ramirez, who was running up the near sideline, but nowhere near him, as Gill was hit as he threw. So another turnover on downs for the Dons, deep in Husky territory. 9:14 left to go in the second quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Second home game of the season. Dons are without starting quarterback Bento, along with their running back Frazier and a few other key pieces. Ebnett with Thomas III in the backfield. Ebnett looks over the middle, has some room, and there's his receiver Alexander. Makes a defender miss. Past the 20 and out of bounds at the 16-yard line. What a catch and run there by Alexander. A post route from the far side of the formation. Touchdown saving tackle there by Jacob Gadsden, the corner from the far side. Now the Huskies are deep in Don's territory. First down and 10. Ball on the 17. Up the middle goes Thomas III. Never found a crease. He does push the pile all the way to the 14-yard line. So he is able to make something out of nothing. But it's a minimal gain for the Huskies on first down. Vargas checks back into the game for the Dons at that safety position. Naea is the tight end down on the near side of the formation. Second down and 7. 8 minutes left to go in the quarter. Ebnett looks to air it out. Pressure is in his face. He steps up, avoids 3 rushers. Now makes the throw to the end zone. It's the first touchdown. Cameron Jones hauls it in. Huskies take a 6-0 lead with 7:48 to go. Pretty spectacular play there made by Logan Ebnett, the quarterback for the Huskies. If we had replay, he did make 3 defenders miss in the backfield and was able to find his receiver, Jones, for a touchdown. Very crafty in the backfield there by Lebnett. PAT is through for the ELAC Huskies, and they now have a 7-0 lead. We'll cut to a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have the Dons offensive series after this.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a
Gomez and Anthony Abad back deep to return for the Dons. They trail 7-0, 7:48 left to go in the first half. Thanks again for tuning into Dons Football on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Zach Abraham to kick things off for the Huskies. Short kick to Gomez. He muffs it originally, picks it up at the 15, has some space on the right side. He crosses midfield, past the 30, only the kicker, and he pushes him out of bounds at the Huskies' 18-yard line. What a return there by Gomez. Got off to a sloppy start as he muffed the return, but it took a nice Don's bounce there. He was able to keep it in stride. The Dons have a chance to respond. It was Logan Ebnett, the quarterback for the Huskies, who found his receiver Cameron Jones for a 14-yard touchdown. They have a 7-0 lead. First and 10 inside the red zone for the first time this evening. Garan, the deep back, Chinchilla to the left of the formation. Beatty on an island by himself on the near side. Meek to the right side of the formation. Play clock hits 0. And so there's a delay of game penalty on the Dons offense after getting great field position to start. They go back 5 yards. It's first down and 15. They have to capitalize on this opportunity here. 7:38 left to go in the first half. They motion Meek to the near side of the formation. Fake the handoff to Garan. A swing pass out to Chinchilla, and he drops it. That's because there was a defender all up in his grill. Huskies take the ball as if there was never a whistle, but multiple whistles have been down on the field. Justin Wyrick was the defensive back in coverage that forced that ball, or forced that incompletion. Second down and 15, yard to gain is the Huskies 17, or is this Huskies 7-yard line. Moss and Beatty to the near side of the formation. Meek down, attached to the line on the top of your screen. Gill rolls out to his left, throws on the run to Beatty, who slides at the 17-yard line, they say. Short gain, but it does get them close to the original line of scrimmage. And it sets up a much more manageable third down. Could be 4-down territory here if the Dons get a chunk play. 3rd and 8, if they can get a gain of about 5 to 6 yards. We could see their offense stay on the field. Meek on the near side of the formation. Ball on near hash. 6:40 left to go. Gill. Another fake handoff to Moss. Top of the screen. Can't get it to go. And so now another decision here for the Dons coaching staff. The field goal unit started running on the field and does return. Now back on the field for this field goal. Holder is set up at the 25-yard line. Diego Hernandez, the place kicker for the Dons this season. 35-yard field goal for Hernandez from the near hash. Just has enough for the distance, and it's through the uprights. The first points of the evening for the Santa Ana Dons. They trail 7-3 with 6:37 left to go in the first half. While we have this break in the action, we want to remind you that we have a QR code where you can directly donate to the Santa Ana College Athletics program. Know that your support goes directly towards helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. With your donation, they will have the tools, resources, and opportunities to continue competing at a high level and representing Santa Ana College with pride. Your donation truly makes a difference. We appreciate you for supporting the Santa Ana College family. Dons trail by 4, 6.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Coleman pooches this one short at the 40. Fair caught by the Huskies. Caught by the tight end, Naea. That's where the Huskies will begin their next offensive series. They lead 7-3. And led by head coach Bobby Godinez, who returns to the head of the program. So there's a penalty on the Dons for an offsides on the kickoff. They crossed the plane before their kicker got it off. And they add 5 more yards. The Huskies get the ball at the 45-yard line. They have 120 yards total of offense thus far. Ebnett with 3 receivers to the near side of the formation. Looks to air it out, and he does find a hole down at the 35-yard line of the Dons. It's receiver Jabari who makes the catch on a slide. Some extracurricular activity in the backfield, no flags thrown. Ball is spotted at the 32-yard line. Dons were in a zone defense that time. Ebnett able to locate the soft spot. Ebnett gets it on the carry to his running back. First we're seeing of C.J. Bozeman. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he played for Chaffey College last year. He's a transfer. Some pushing and shoving going on between the Dons defensive line and the Huskies offensive line. 2nd down and 6. Ebnett looks over the middle. Another wide open receiver. This time it's Thomas as he gets his first touchdown grab of the evening. The scoring here has opened up. A very quick drive for the Huskies. 3 plays results in 6. They have a 13-3 lead with 5:23 left to go in the first. Zach Abraham for the point after attempt. They were short 1 player as 1 player comes on for the Huskies. Play clock now at 2-1. They just do get it off, and Abraham able to punch it through. Makes this a 14-3 game. Thanks for tuning in to Don's Football. We'll have the kick return when we come back after this quick break.
Starting your college journey is a big step. It requires discipline and dedication while you balance your work, life, and education. At Santa Ana College, you can choose a pathway that fits into your schedule and leads you toward your personal and educational goals. Earn an associate degree, university transfer, career training, or even a bachelor's degree in occupational studies. With classes available both in person and online. Gain the professionalism and confidence you need to further yourself and your career. And become a bigger part of your community. Wraparound services are available to fit your needs and provide all the necessary tools.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. New kicker for the Huskies, and he sends this out of bounds on the far side. That was Damani Gamble, unless there's a number situation or number switch on the roster. No, that's 92, Gilmar Tennis. So Gilmar Tennis sends this one out of bounds. The Dons will get decent starting field position. 5:23 left to go in the first half. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. It's game number 3 of the season. Next week, the Dons begin conference play. They're now in the Northern Division, and they're now in the National Division, Northern Conference, as they'll start division play with Allen Hancock, a road match next week. Kickoff set to be at 2 p.m. They'll have one more home game in the month of September as they host Citrus College on Saturday, September 27th. Justin Gill with 2 running backs in the backfield. A fake to a bod. Throws as he's hit. Pressure all in his face. Nazir Reed was the defender in the backfield. In from his defensive back spot. Huskies begin to pin their ears back. We'll see if the Dons stay true to the ground game and don't make this a one-dimensional offense. So far, every offensive play, they've had that tight end down in the formation. Meek to the top of your screen. Right side, Abad doesn't have much space.
99, 58.
Back to the original line of scrimmage, and they'll set up 3rd down and 10. In on the stop is Larry Thomas. It's a big defensive front there for the Huskies, and head coach Bobby Godinez and takes over pretty late into the year. Took over the program in June after the head coach last year got a job offer at Northern Illinois University, Division I football program. 3rd down and 10 coming up. The yard to gain is the Huskies. So Don's 35-yard line. Gill has to bounce around in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, finds a wide open Gomez on the near side. He cuts inside, eye the hash. He gets past the defender and finally tripped up. A touchdown saving tackle by Levi Nez. That looked like it was going to be 6 for the Dons. Instead, they're in the red zone. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. Nice job by Gill. It looked like he was going to tuck it and run. He was able to draw the Husky defenders to come up and collapse in on the scrambling quarterback. He then was able to cock his arm back, make an accurate throw to Gomez, who was wide open. Dons are in striking distance here. 2 backs in the backfield. Abad, the deep back. He shoots up the middle. Does have more space this time as he lowers his shoulders and gets to the 6-yard line. 2nd down and goal.
58, 45.
3:30 in the first half to go. Ball's on the near hash. Abad stays in as the deep back. Garan, the fullback to the right side of the formation. Moss and Beatty are the 2 receivers to the top of your screen. They look to throw it to the slot fade. Moss pulled down. There has to be a flag called as it was a back shoulder throw for the slot receiver Moss. All sorts of contact made there by Levi Nez, and still no flag has been thrown. Unbelievable missed call there by the referees. Third and goal. I'm sure the Dons and the coaching staff want a touchdown, as a field goal would still make it a 2-possession game. They trail 14-3. Clock stopped at 3:07 in the second quarter. Now Meek and Gomez to the top of your screen. Ramirez here on the near side. Gill looks for an opening and he's sacked.
91.
Maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage. That's the first time we're calling Chukwuemeka as he gets his first sack of the evening. Again, he stands at 6'8". He actually played basketball last year at UC Merced. Made the switch over to football here for the ELAC Huskies. And that'll bring Diego Hernandez out. If he does convert on this field goal, it will be a 1-possession game. They'll put the Dons down by 8. Ball set up at the 15, a 25-yarder. Able to connect. So the Dons trail by 8 with 2:26 left to go in the first half. My name is Noah Alvarez, saying thanks for tuning in to Dons football. If you go back to the schedule, after September 27th, they'll have a week off before hosting Mount SAC. That comes on October 11th. That'll be the last home game scheduled at 6 p.m. They'll travel on the road to take Long Beach City College on Saturday, October 18th. They'll host Ventura College on Saturday, October 25th. That game will kick off at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And then both the games in November will be on the road at Moore Park on November 1st and at Santa Barbara on November 8th. That's the upcoming schedule for the Santa Ana Dons. Again, led by first-year head coach Simon Fuentes, who was a pretty phenomenal player himself for the Santa Ana Dons. In 1994, he was named the Mission Conference Player of the Year and went on to play at Eastern Kentucky University. This kick gets all the way to the 19-yard line before the Huskies decide to return it. That's Jaden Thomas, who fights ahead to the 29-yard line. Kick there by Devin Coleman. 2:19 left to go before halftime. During the halftime break, we'll take a break ourselves and then update you on some scores from around the 3C2A, specifically in Southern California. Checking on some of the scores that are going on at the moment as well. But relay some of the scores that went final earlier in the day. The Huskies have 12 players on the field, as one of them has to run off. Logan Ebnett starts this drive at the 30. Thomas III to his left. He looks over to the right side. Caught made there by the Huskies. And that's Vargas who brings him down at the 48. Out in the flats, a deep throw to Taylor. Taylor's a receiver from Long Beach, Jordan. So we hit the 2-minute timeout, something they're incorporating now for the second season at the college football level. My name is Noah Alvarez. We'll take a timeout ourselves here and be back with the rest of the action after this.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
First down and 10 for the Huskies. Yard to gain is the Dons 42. They're on this side of the 50. Ebnett has pressure in his face, and it's the Dons' first sack of the season. Riker Scott, the first one to get there. The freshman from Queen Creek, Arizona. And now there's an injured player down on the field. It's for the Huskies offensive line. We hope he's okay. During this break in the action, let's take a look at the ELAC Huskies 2025 season. They started off the year with a 35-20 loss to San Diego Mesa last week. They lost a heartbreaker to Palomar College. 17-14 was the final score. That was on their home turf as well. Next week they take on Fullerton College as they host the Fullerton Hornets on Saturday, September 20th. Then they'll travel to Golden West College. An early kickoff there as it's set to kick off at 12 noon as they finish up. Well, tonight is their last game of conference play, so they'll be in conference for that game at Golden West. In October, they start with the match against Orange Coast College on Saturday, October 11th. On the 18th, they host College of the Canyons. On the 25th, they travel to Bakersfield, the team that the Dons saw earlier in the season. They'll host Pasadena City College, another team like the Dons who moved up from the American Division now to the National Division. And they'll finish the season with the game against Cerritos College at home on Saturday, November 8th. We mentioned that the Dons and Pasadena City College, along with Chaffee, those are the three teams that moved up from the American Division to the National Division. The Dons are in the National Northern Conference along the likes of Mount SAC, who's a team that's constantly in a fight for the state championship. Ventura has been really strong as of the past 3 to 5 seasons. Allen Hancock and Citrus are kind of those middling programs. Long Beach City College, usually pretty decent. Moore Park is a wild card, and Santa Barbara, a pretty solid program as well. Those are the teams that the Dons are going to face this year. It's going to be tough sledding, as it's a different set of opponents that the Dons are used to seeing compared to the opponents they saw in the American Division. So it looks like that's the center, Louis Aguilar, who has to be carried off the field. We hope that Aguilar is okay. And we'll see who comes in to replace him at that center position. That's always a pivotal one, not only for getting good snaps down, but of course for communicating with the quarterback as far as protection schemes. Does look like it's number 64, Ian Muggerty Chanroth. Second down and 12. A swing out to the running back out of the backfield. He makes something out of nothing. Tackled down at the Dons 48. First time we call the name of Bernard Blanco. Third running back we'll see here for the Huskies. Okay, James Thomas III, the starting running back. We saw C.J. Bozeman for one handoff earlier. The transfer from Chaffey College. 3rd and 7. Yard to gain is the Dons 42. 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Ebnett looks to pass. Has pressure in his face. That one was swatted down at the line. Credit Abraham Tolliver, who wears number 11, for getting a hand in the face of Ebnett, and that'll force the Huskies to punt this ball away. Chance for the Dons to go down and score. A minute 35 left in this first half, and 2 timeouts remain. Abraham stands at his own 31. Gomez back deep to return. He had a big return on the last kickoff for the Dons. He stands at his own 21. Dons looked as if they're going to bring pressure. Timeout by the ELAC Huskies. And with that timeout, hey, we'll take a timeout ourselves. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
On your screen, you see the ELAC training staff. Check out their injured center, Louis Aguilar. He went down 3 plays ago. Had to be carried off the field. So after the timeout, Huskies still remain in punt formation. Gomez back deep on his 22. Bit of a high snap. Pressure off the edge, but Abraham does get it away. Fair caught by Gomez at the 21, and that's where the Dons will begin, which should be the final drive of the first half. So while the Dons are huddled up, get you some statistics as of late. Both the Dons and the Huskies have 7 first downs. The Dons are 4 of 9 on third downs. That's what's kept them in it. Well, the Huskies are 1 of 6. Dons have 175 total yards, while the Huskies have 196 total yards of offense. Garan, the deep back. Gill drops back to pass. Short pass to Meek, and there's a defender draped all over him. Reed, the man in coverage. Second down and 10. Quick out route designed for the slot, or for the tight end. Clock stops with 1:24. Beatty and Gomez to the top of your screen. Moss, the lone receiver on the near side. To hand off to Gran up the middle. And he pushes the pile all the way to the Dons 37. Tackle made by Roberto Ceballos. Ceballos, one of the captains. 3rd down and 4. Gill and the Dons offense goes no huddle. There's some movement up front. A flag does get thrown. Gill looks to air it out deep on this free play. Damian Gomez makes the catch at the 35. And he's brought down at the 28. On the free play, Gill takes the shot. The secondary was all in the Storts there. So Dons should decline. Have the ball inside the 30 with 52 seconds left. They got the big defensive end to jump. That was Chukwuemeka. And the Dons have a chance to earn some points. Remember, 2 timeouts remain in the first half for Simon Fuentes and the Dons coaching staff. Garan the deep back, Meek to the near side of the formation. Huskies rush 5. Beatty all by himself on the top of your screen, steps out of bounds at the 16. Easy pitch and catch to the freshman receiver from Garden Grove. They'll mark him down at the 17. A very important drive for the Dons to end the first half as they look to pick up some momentum as they enter the halftime break. Meek moves to the right side of the formation. Hand off to Garan. Over onto the left side. Not much running room there. Nazir Abrams shoots from the linebacker position. And the Dons burn their second timeout of the first half. So another timeout here will stay on during this timeout break. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. 39 seconds remain. They moved the clock actually to 34 seconds. So 34 seconds remain in the first half. Dons are led by first-year head coach Simon Fuentes. Last year they were led by Jeff Jones. In the previous 4 seasons they were led by head coach Anthony White. At the very end of the 2023 season, Anthony White passed away and Jeff Jones came back in to step in as the head coach. The Dons have been in the American Division the past 6 seasons, but after doing very well, don't want to say dominate, but after doing very well at that American Division, they're moved up to the Northern Division. Three receivers flanked to the right of Justin Gill. Now there's going to be another whistle, timeout called by the ELAC Huskies. So some chess match being played between the Huskies coaching staff and the Dons coaching staff. And we're here at Eddie West Field. It's been here since 1963. And it's played host to many different teams on Friday nights. We often see the modern day Monarchs here, a high school team, a private high school team that's considered by many to be the best in the nation. 1972, stadium was being used for the Cal State Fullerton program. If you're a native to the area, Cal State Fullerton as well as Cal State Long Beach both had football programs a long time ago. 34 seconds remain in the first half. We'll see what the Dons call after that timeout there by the Huskies. Beatty, the lone receiver on the near side of your screen. Gill rolls out to his right, has time. There's some green grass in front of him, and he just elects to run out of bounds. Doesn't get back to line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 on the play. 3rd and 13 coming up. Clock stops at 27 seconds. That's a decision where your offense lives to fight another day. Don't want to force anything and have a turnover this late or this deep into the red zone territory. Garan the deep back. Meek now on the bottom of your formation. Gomez and Moss on the near side of your screen. Gill looks to take a shot to Beatty. Beatty has a step, and it's off his hands. A golden opportunity there for the Dons to punch it in for 6. Beatty had a step on his man in coverage. That was Jalen Green, the corner on the far side. Now the Dons run out the field goal unit. Diego Hernandez. Lines it up. It'll be from the far hash. Ball placed on the 28. 38-yard field goal for Hernandez and the Dons. Has the distance and squeaks it through the upright. So 3 field goals in the first half for Diego Hernandez, and he makes it a 14-9 game. The Dons trail by 5 with 18 seconds left to go in the first half. Victor Rodriguez and Jonathan Alexander back deep to return for the Huskies. 18 seconds remain. We'll see how the Huskies approach this. Over to Rodriguez. He runs back to make this grab at the 8. Decides to cross fields. Gets to the 20. 11 seconds remain in the first half. Thanks again for tuning into Don's Football here at the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Remember, during the halftime break, we'll take a break ourselves. And we'll come back with some scores from around the 3C2A as well as some first half statistics. Ebnett to take this snap under center. And he takes the knee as the Huskies elect to run this clock out. So your score at the end of the first half, Huskies 14, Dons 9. My name is Noah Alvarez. We'll cut to a commercial break. We'll be back towards the end of the halftime break. Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, your Dons trail 14-9 as we get ready to come back for the second half of action. Let's tell you about how we got here. It was the Huskies who struck first in the second quarter. Logan Ebnett found Cameron Jones for a 14-yard score, and that capped off a three-play, 75-yard drive. The Dons responded with a field goal by Diego Hernandez. He knocked in a 35-yarder that made it a 7-3 ball game. East LA then converted on another touchdown through the air, and it was a quick drive. 3 plays, 60 yards, capped off by a Jaden Thomas 28-yard pass from Logan Ebnett. That made it a 14-3 game, but the Dons were the ones who finished the first half strong. In their last 2 drives, they went 6 plays, 57 yards. That resulted in a 25-yard field goal for Hernandez. And then they made it a 14-9 game with 18 seconds left. After Hernandez converted on a 38-yard field goal, the Dons went 7 plays, 57 yards in a minute 10. They had to use a 2-minute drill. The Dons have been able to move the ball pretty effectively. However, they just have not been able to punch it in. They had their chances. Gomez on a kick return was near the end zone, and then on a reception was tripped up inside the 10-yard line. So a couple of missed opportunities by the Dons, as they will be receiving the ball to begin this second half of action. We promised you some scores from around the 3C2A in the National Division. Fullerton defeated Saddleback College 37-22 earlier today. Riverside City was in a shootout with College of the Canyons. The final score, 57-54. In the American Division, LA Valley defeated LA Pierce. That's a big rivalry up there in the San Fernando Valley. Monarchs on top, 23-13. Golden West absolutely put a beat down to Allen Hancock. 55-0 is the final score. Remember, the Dons play Allen Hancock next week, so we could see a more bruised up Allen Hancock team next weekend for the Dons. Also in the conference, Long Beach City College lost to Southwestern by a score of 38-14. And we'll have some scores from games going on at the moment, as this kickoff is a low line drive, a squib kick that does go out of bounds. That is Zach Abraham who sends that one out. It's a penalty on the Huskies special teams. Decent fielding position for the Dons to start things off. Santa Barbara City College trails to Cerrito. 35-3 is the score as they begin the second half. Mount Sac leads El Camino 28-13 as that game has just hit halftime. Ventura College up 35-28 over Bakersfield. Remember, the Ventura County or College Pirates are in the same division as the Dons are, and we'll see them later on this season. Those are some scores from around the 3C2A. We're about ready for the second half of action. Gill with Garan the deep back. It's a handoff to Chinchilla. He cuts right, finds some room up the middle as he cuts against the grain, and he gets all the way to the 45-yard line. That's Arthur Shaw. So Arthur Shaw, it was a player on the Dons roster quite some time ago. We'll have to go back and actually look at the archives. But Shaw now a player on the Dons one more time for his sophomore season after a couple seasons off. First down and 10. Handoff to Garan up the middle. He fights ahead for a minimal gain to the Dons' 47-yard line as they near midfield. At the half, the Dons have outgained the Huskies in total yardage, 232 to 195. They've also ran 16 more plays, 41 plays to the Huskies' 25. They've owned that time of possession battle. 19 minutes they've held the ball, where the Huskies have only had it for 11. But yet the Dons still trail. Fake the handoff now to Shaw in the open field. Shaw drops this one, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 8. Dons are huddled up. Moss and Gomez, the receivers, to the near side of the formation. Ramirez on the top of your screen. Pressure comes from outside. They send a defensive back. Gill has to throw on the run and just does get it away as pressure was up in his face. Ceballos was the linebacker in. No flag thrown for intentional grounding. That'll force the Dons punt unit to come out. Coleman back deep to punt. It's a short punt, but it takes a Dons bounce to the 19-yard line, and that's where the Huskies will begin their first possession of the of the second half. Game number 3 of the 2025 season. Huskies go from left to right on your screen. Thomas III, the D-back behind Ebnett. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Ebnett hands the ball off. Loss of 1 on the play as the Dons create good penetration there on the run. And on the stop for the Dons is Layden Sisifo. Bozeman comes in as the running back. Ball in the far hash. 2nd down and 10. They do say Bozeman got down to the line of scrimmage on that last play. They motion Bozeman out to the flats. Here's a flag as there was a clear holding call. Riker Scott got past his offensive lineman. If you saw on the bottom of your screen, Kendon Jones just grabbed him, tossed him around like a rag doll. An easy holding penalty there. Question for the Dons is, do you take the penalty, go 2nd down and 20, or decline and go 3rd down and 10? The Dons elect to accept the penalty, and it will be 2nd down and 20 as you look for better fielding position. Bozeman in the backfield with Ebnett. It's a draw play to Bozeman. He has no room. The Dons create a push. They tackle him in the end zone, but forward progress should be stopped. Near side referee says at the 3-yard line. Good penetration there by Devin Mijares, coming from the linebacker position. Also in on the stop is Mario Evans. Third and forever. The yard to gain is the Huskies' 29-yard line. They're back at the 3. 3rd and 26. 12 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Ebnett drops back to pass. Airs it out towards the far side. Overshoots Alexander, his receiver. And so now a tricky spot for the Huskies as they will bring out their punt unit. And they're so backed up into their own territory. It has to be almost a perfect snap. If the punter, Abraham, steps even 1 step back, he will be hit with the safety. Gomez stands at the Huskies' 37-yard line. It is a good snap. Abraham gets really close to the line. It's a short punt. Gomez takes it on the bounce, crosses the 20, and the Dons start inside the red zone. An unbelievable turn of events there for the Dons. The penalty helps set up a third and very long. They get a 3 and out. They now have a chance to take a score. Thanks for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Shaw back in the formation. He's the fullback now to the right side. He played for the Dons in the 2021 season. Garan the deep back. Garan knifes ahead to the 15, falls forward, sets up second down and 6. Shaw was a pretty phenomenal player at Fullerton High School. Garan gets another carry, pushes the pile to the 11. They say 12-yard line. Third down and about 5. Yard to gain is the Huskies' 8-yard line. They're at the 12.5. Shaw shifts to the right side of the formation. Meek attached to the line on the near side. Another handoff. 3 straight handoffs to Garan. He shoots ahead to the 9. It'll be fourth down coming up for the Dons. Moss and Beatty run onto the field. 10 minutes left to go in the third quarter. We'll see what the Dons elect to do. Fourth and a very long 2. Dons inside the red zone. Instead of sending the field goal unit out, they leave their offense on the field. Gill takes a snap. Another handoff to Grun. He weaves his way to the left side, and it's into the end zone. A touchdown here for Brandon Garan and the Dons. They have their first lead of the evening with 9:48 left to go, 15-14, pending the extra point. So the Dons do run out Diego Hernandez for the point after attempt. This will make it a 2-point game. Dons also had the chance to, or the decision to go for 2, make it a 3-point game if they were to get a 2-point conversion. Hernandez slips it through. The Dons lead by 2. 16-14 is the score. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. We'll throw up that QR code on your screen. Remember, you can make a donation directly to the Santa Ana College Athletics program when you take a picture of the QR code. Know that your support goes directly towards helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. With your donation, these student athletes will have the tools, resources, and opportunities to continue competing at a high level while representing Santa Ana College with pride. Your donation truly makes a difference. We appreciate you for supporting the Santa Ana College family. Devin Coleman has this one on the tee. And a 10-yard rush and touchdown for Brandon Garan. To the near side. Takes a bounce right to the returner, Victor Rodriguez. Gets knocked down at the 17. And the Huskies trail for the first time in tonight's contest. We expected a tightly contested game this evening. Both teams are 0-2, searching for their first win on the year. Dons are led by first-year head coach Simon Fuentes. Bobby Godinez returns to the head of the program for the ELAC Huskies. First down and 10. Ebnett fakes the handoff to Bozeman. Pressure's in his face. The ball gets stripped. And Ebnick keeps the ball. A big recovery there for the Huskies. Again, Porter Nix. Well, I don't think that's Porter Nix, but it is number 50, and that's who we have on the roster. He makes pressure off the edge there. And Ebnick lucky to have that ball still for the Huskies. They go backwards, 2nd down and 16. Porter Nix out there with Mario Evans down on the defensive line, and Riker Scott, defensive end on the far side. Receivers bunched in tight. Ebnick looks for someone to open up, does get it to Alexander for a minimal gain. Look at the Dons gang tackle there at the 23. 2 players in on the stop are Solomon Alvarez and Wallace Falemu. And Jesse Vargas and Josh Patton back deep as the safeties. Wallace Falemu has been playing that nickel corner. Corner on the near side. On the boundary is Caleb Grant. And on the far side, Jacob Gadsden. All right, now Alvarez and Mac Wolf in at the linebacker position. 3rd and 15. Yard to gain is the Huskies 38. Ebnick looks to the far sideline. Now comes back to the near side. Finds his receiver. Hits him in the chest. And off his chest plate to the ground. Damari Taylor can't haul that one in. 8:07 in the 3rd quarter. And the Dons get another 3 and out. So the defense delivers on back-to-back possessions. Gomez, who has shown to be a dangerous returner already this season. Couple big returns, both kick and punt return tonight. Abraham stands at his own 8-yard line. Snap a bit to his left, and there's some flags that get thrown. Both teams pointing to the other side. And offsides. Would make this 4th down and 10. Does look like the Huskies are moving backwards. And so, it's on the punt team. 4th down and 20. The Dons are set to get excellent field position. Gomez now stands at midfield. Abraham gets this away. Pretty solid punt. Gomez has to call fair catch at the Huskies 48. The Dons start in Huskies territory. My name is Noah Alvarez. 8 minutes exactly left on the scoreboard here in the 3rd quarter. And your Dons have their first lead of the evening, 16-14. Dons and the Huskies both looking for their first victory of the year. Remember the last time these two teams played was back in 2017. The game ended with the final score of, 75-61. That was the final score between these two teams in 2017. That was on the campus of East Los Angeles. That was a shootout. Gill with the bod, the deep back. Meek down to the near side of the formation. Abad finds a crease. Doesn't get very far. They mark him down at the original line of scrimmage. So Chinchilla comes off the field. Ramirez, the receiver, by himself on the near side of the formation. Meek and Gomez to the top of your screen. Gill begins to roll out right. Looks to air it out deep to Gomez. Gomez goes down to the ground. Can't haul it in. 3rd down and 10. Man in coverage was Justin Wyrick. He was all over Gomez there. Tight window for Gill to squeeze it into. Again, Justin Gill, the backup quarterback for the Dons this season. Bento unable to finish the game last week. Gill did get some playing time last week against Chaffey College. Went 1 for 9 through 2 interceptions, but has looked a lot better this weekend. with the week of preparation with the starting unit. Dons have a 3rd and long. Abad the deep back. Huskies look to bring pressure. Abad has some space on the left side and does get to the 45. There's a flag thrown right in the middle of the field. We'll await to see what the call is. So far, so good for Justin Gillen, the backup quarterback, as he's helped the Dons pick up 262 yards of offense. It's a holding penalty on the Dons. And Elijah Clements, he gets his first start of the season at left guard. It's a banged-up Dons roster. 2 offensive linemen out. They're starting quarterback out. They're starting running back out. So they've had to make some adjustments. Some guys have had to step up. Devin Coleman takes the snap on the punt. Gets it to the 14, and Rodriguez fair catches it at the 13. 6:58 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Football. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities, a leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Ebnet in with Thomas the third. The freshman from Lusinger gets a handoff up the middle, and there's nowhere to go for the running back. 4 defenders meet him in the hole. And there's some extracurricular activity between one of the offensive linemen and the Dons defensive players. Separated quickly. First one to get there is Isaac Real. Real and Bagdanoff in at the linebacker position. The Huskies get their play call from the sideline. They've gone 3 and out, their first 3 drives of the second half. And now there's a whistle before they can snap this one. Play clock was near 0, and so the Huskies have to burn a timeout. The Dons defense has held strong, 6:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Dons lead 16-14 here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football. My name is Noah Alvarez. The Huskies had a 14-9 lead going into the half, but the Dons were able to score a touchdown on their second drive in the second half. Brandon Garan, the running back, punched it in from 10 yards out to make it a 16-14 game. In the 3 possessions that the Huskies have had here in the second half, they've pretty much gone nowhere. Their first drive went 16 yards. They're negative 16 yards. The second drive went negative 10. And at the moment, they have gone negative 1 yards on this drive. It's the second play. 2nd down and 11. So the halftime adjustments made by the Don defense has paid off thus far. Ebnet looks to throw out quickly to the flats. Naea gets past the first defender down the far sideline. Tough running there by the tight end. He's finally pushed out of bounds after picking up some positive yards to the 30. It's the first positive play we've seen from the Huskies in the second half. Just a little arrow route to the tight end on the far side. Naea down on the bottom of the formation now. Thomas the third, the deep back. He gets a carry up the middle. Wrestled down at the 35. Second down and 6, yard to gain. As the Dons, or the Huskies, 40. Huskies playing with tempo. Another quick snap. And their handoff to Thomas the third. He rumbles ahead to the Huskies 41. 5 minutes left to go in the third. Huskies seem to have some momentum now. Driving the ball. First down and 10. 3 straight handoffs to Thomas the third. He gets tackled down in the backfield. A tackle for loss by the sophomore linebacker, Mac Wolf. He's one of the many players from El Dorado High School. The high school that Jeff Jones recruits well out of. He went to El Dorado High School himself. A lot of players on this roster from that program. Second down and 11. Abnett with 2 receivers down to the near side of the formation. Fakes the handoff, looks over the middle. It's nearly intercepted. Patton stepped in front of the intended receiver, Jaden Thomas. No, that was the tight end, Kamal Jabari. Nearly a big play for the Dons defense. They already have 1 interception on the evening. They also have 1 sack. This is the Dons defense that we've seen under Anthony White. And even last year. Third down and 11. We'll see if the Dons elect to bring pressure. Abnett looks over to his left. Dons rush 5. Long throw to Robinson. And he does make the grab. That's Alexander who makes the grab. Over on the far side of the field. Good concentration as that ball had to hang up in there long ways. It's not going to be enough for a first down. It's 4th down and 2. The offense stays on the field. Abnett relays the information to his receivers. They scoot in tighter now. From the shotgun, Abnett looks to throw short on the near side. It's caught by Rodriguez. Grant is there, but it's enough for a first down as he's tackled at the Dons 47. The first we're seeing of Jared Andrade. He lines up as a tight end on the right of the formation. It's a handoff up the middle. Lots of room for the running back. Brought down at the 36, but hold on, folks. There's a flag thrown at the 49-yard line. Handoff to Bernardo Blanco, freshman from Downey High School. And it's a holding. On the right tackle, Kendon Jones. We've called his name a few times, not for the right reasons. A couple penalties have been called on him. Three minutes left in the third quarter. Huskies backed up into their own territory on their own 43, first down and 20. Abnett looks to air it out, nearly intercepted, in out of the hands of Isaac Real. A few times that we've called his name already. As a freshman from Savannah. Clock stops at 2:44. Second down and 20. The Huskies have had some real trouble moving the ball in the second half. Blanco in the backfield. Pass caught by Taylor, and Taylor will walk into the end zone for a touchdown. An easy pitch and catch. Grant was in man coverage, but Damari Taylor, no safety help. Grant now down on the field in some pain, but the Huskies retake the lead 20-16 here with 2:35 left to go. With the injury timeout, we'll cut to a timeout ourselves here and be back after this commercial break.
This is it.
Have a good first day.
You too, Mom.
Everyone's journey looks a little different at Santa Ana College, whether you're just starting out or starting a new chapter. With flexible classes, valuable student services, and a range of degrees and certificate programs, students of all kinds can find inspiration and empowerment at Santa Ana College. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
So that's the corner on your screen, Caleb Grant, who was beat on that last play for a touchdown. Touchdown gives the Huskies a 20-14 lead. 20-16 is the score correction. It's a 47. Hold on, we have to refresh the page here. It's a 57-yard pitch and catch to Damari Taylor from Logan Ebnett, the quarterback. Movement on the offense and defensive line. We'll see who this penalty is on. Head referee John Gill says it's on the Dons. They're going to decline the penalty. Well, now the coaching staff on the Huskies side, thought that the declining penalty was going to leave the PAT stand. But now they want the penalty if they're going to have to reattempt the point after. Some miscommunication there between the head official and the Huskies sideline. Be interesting to see. They don't elect to go for two. Going for two would make it a 6-point game. If they convert, they're at the 1-yard line now. Zach Abraham. He punches it through. It's now a 21-16 lead. 5-point lead for the ELAC Huskies. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Don's Football. You're on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. There you see on the screen, 2:35 left to go in the third quarter. Still plenty of time for the Dons to get a few more scores. Their defense has been strong for much of the second half, but on that last drive, looked a little bit more vulnerable, and it was Caleb Grant, the corner, who got beat in coverage, one-on-one with Damari Taylor. Freshman from Long Beach, Jordan, made him pay. Gomez and Abad back deep to return for the Dons. Abad on the near side, Gomez on the far side. Abraham hits another low line drive, a squib kick to Gomez, who picks it up at the 14. Does he have another big return in him? The sophomore weaves on the near sideline and is pushed out of bounds at the 45. And Gomez, an experienced player, a sophomore from La Habra, was one of two captains that came out for the Dons at the beginning of the game. We knew him and a few other players had to step up and make an impact. With the Dons out, Nate Bento, their starting quarterback, along with Ethan Frazier and a few other key players. Justin Gill has done a fine job this evening, leading the Dons to 264 yards of offense. Garan is a deep back. Meek tight end in motion to the left side. Garan has some room on the left side. Cuts up the middle. Tripped up at the 43. The Dons will continue to lean on that run game. They have 181 yards through the air. And after that last rush, 94 yards on the ground. They're in Huskies territory, across midfield. First down and 10. Meek and Gomez to the top of the formation. Ball in the near hash. Gill gives it to Garan. That's Abad who just checked into the game. And Abad falls forward to the 41. Anthony Abad is a freshman from Sonora High School, home of the Raiders. 1.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Beatty, the lone receiver on the near side. Moss and Gomez to the top of your screen. Gill rolls out to his right. Airs it out deep for Moss. Moss makes the catch, tiptoes on the far sideline at the 16. A tight window for Gill, the quarterback, who fits it in. And the freshman receiver from Irvine gives the Dons another first down. They say down at the 18. Impressive drive thus far for the Dons. Meek to the left side of the formation. Abad, the deep back. Knifes his way through the middle, met by a wall of Husky defenders after a 3-yard gain to the 16. Dons are in the red zone. They trail 21-16, less than 40 seconds left to go in this third quarter. A 3-second differential between play clock and game clock, so they will have to get another play off. Beatty to the top of your screen. Gomez and Moss, the two receivers, down at the bottom. Low snap. Gill rolls out to his left, looks to air it out. He has some space, and it's an interception at the back of the end zone. Travion Baker makes the pick. Gomez was wide open. Instead of Gill throwing it towards the corner, he underthrew his receiver, and that gave the safety enough time to make that pick. It's the first turnover forced by the Huskies defense. The Dons intercepted a pass earlier in the first half. Both teams have an interception on their book. Now the Huskies get the ball with 4.5 seconds left. Ebnett with two backs in the backfield. Thomas the third, the deep back, he gets popped. Stood up by Wallace Falemu, and there's two other Dons defenders there to clean up that tackle. And now there's a flag thrown. Unsure of who that's going to be against. Didn't see anything excessive, especially to the extracurricular activity we saw earlier in the game. It does look like the Huskies are rallying around their right tackle, who we've called quite a bit. That's Kendon Jones. Maybe he said something. Didn't see him do anything extra after that play. Ebnett pushes his right tackle away from the Don side. So it does look like it might be on the right tackle. Oh, man. So Kendon Jones gets hit with two back-to-back penalties, a holding during the play, and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the play. And since that was the end of the play, they'll go back and count both those yardage against the Huskies. And that'll mark the end of the third quarter. So when we come back, the Huskies will have second and very long. But we'll cut to a commercial break. Before then, my name is Noah Alvarez saying thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from.
This is it.
Have a good first day.
You too, Mom.
Everyone's journey looks a little different at Santa Ana College, whether you're just starting out or starting a new chapter. With flexible classes, valuable student services, and a range of degrees and certificate programs, students of all kinds can find inspiration and empowerment at Santa Ana College. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Dons trail 21-16, but they've had much of the momentum here in the second half of action. And after two big penalties on the right tackle, Kendon Jones, the Huskies are backed up at their own 5-yard line. Jones is a freshman tackle from Mater Academy in Las Vegas, Nevada. Especially in football, but all sports in the 3C2A, you see a lot of players coming from out of the state. California has some of the best and most competitive JUCOs all across the state, up and down from Southern California to Northern California, especially in football. It's first down. Yard to gain is the Huskies 30. So first down and 25. Thomas the third in the backfield. It's a pass play. Again to Naea. Right there to swallow him up is Falemu. He does inch forward back to the original line of scrimmage. That was almost a loss of 2. But give credit to Pharaoh Naea for fighting back to the line of scrimmage. In for the injured Caleb Grant. We're going to see the first of Vincent Navarro. He was a corner on last year's Ronset. Sophomore from Kennedy High School. In at the linebacker position, it's Mac Wolf and Solomon Alvarez. Second down and 25. Handoff to Thomas. He has a big crease up the middle. Crosses the 10. Carries defenders with him to the 14. Good chunk play there for the Huskies, and now they have some breathing room at least. His helmet does come off. So he'll need to come out for at least a play. And that is not Thomas III, that's Blanco. Of the 3 running backs, I've been really impressed with Blanco's running. He runs almost angry compared to Thomas III and Bozeman. Surprised he hasn't gotten more handoffs for the Huskies offense tonight. Sometimes you got to ride the hot hand. Third down and 16. Ebnett and the Huskies will air it out. Look to get it over the middle. Caught at the 28. That's Jonathan Alexander, and he'll set up fourth down and 2. There's a penalty flag down here on the near side. Right at the 13. The Dons fan base are asking for another holding penalty, and it looks like they'll get it. This time it's on the left tackle. Haven't called a whole lot of Stanley Roybal, but he gets hit with the holding penalty. Back the Huskies up 10 more yards. We'll see if the Huskies elect to be conservative here this far back into their own territory. The receivers flanked out to the top of your screen. Ball on the 7. Ebnet motions the running back out to the near side. He has some space, gets a key block, and a very important tackle there by Vargas at the 17. If Vargas doesn't make that tackle, it's not only a first down for the Huskies, but it could be a touchdown, as there was no safety back deep. The Dons brought some pressure on that last play. In comes the punt unit for the Huskies. Zach Abraham has been busy. This will be the 6th punt of the evening for Abraham and the Huskies. Gomez stands at midfield. The Dons are poised to get good field possession one more time. Short punt, takes a Husky-friendly bounce across midfield to the Dons' 43-yard line. $12:13 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Dons trail by 5, 21-16. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Next time you can catch the Dons here at home at Eddie West Field will be September 27th as they host Citrus College. Kickoff set to be at 6 p.m. that evening. Gill with 2 running backs in the backfield. Meek to the top of your screen, attached to the line of scrimmage. We've seen a lot of 2-back sets, 21 personnel for the Dons. It's a handoff to a bot, and he goes nowhere. Swallowed up in the backfield by Ceballos. The Dons are without Ethan Frazier. They're without Arthur Shaw, 2 important pieces in the rushing game. They're the 2 leading rushers. As Frazier has 100 yards on the season, Bento has 117 on the season on the ground. 2nd down and 10. Gill steps up into the pocket. Gets to the 45, gain of about 2. So Gill has shown some ability to run with his legs, not to the level of Nate Bento that we've seen the first week and a half of action this season, but still able to create even when there's nothing going on in the design play. 3rd down and 8, just over 11 minutes left to go in the quarter. Good sized crowd here on deck at the Santa Ana Stadium. Timeout taken by head coach Simon Fuentes. He wants to talk things over ahead of this big 3rd down. 11:02. We'll take a commercial break ourselves. Be back in a sec.
I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Dons are lined up, ready for this 3rd down. 3rd and 8, the yard to gain is the Huskies' 47. Huskies bring pressure from the defensive back. They just throw it up there. There was the receiver in the area code, so no intentional ground penalty there. Pressure brought off the edge. Justin Wyrick from the nickel corner forced that incompletion. Coleman and the punt unit come out to the field for the Dons. Rodriguez and Leal Paz back deep to return, standing at their own 17-yard line. Coleman gets a punt end over end, takes a Dons bounce. No, they do say it lands out of bounds at the 30. There is a flag down on the far side of the field. We'll wait to see what the call is. 10:48 left to go in the fourth quarter. Dons trail by 5. Both teams looking for their first victory. Bobby Godinez, the head coach of the Huskies, one more time. So the Huskies continue to shoot themselves in the foot, which I'm sure is making head coach Bobby Godinez very upset. When you look at the penalties, it's not a large number, but they do have 6 penalties, and the Dons only have 3. So twice as many penalties on the evening, and that's really hurt their chances. That'll back them up further into their own territory. Instead of starting at the 30, they'll start at their own 15. But again, Godinez fills in for Arnie Robles, who got a coaching job at the Division I level. Godinez coached from 2016 to 2023, so very familiar with this Huskies football program. Emnett wants to air it out deep. Gaston in coverage. There was some contact. Nothing excessive. Taylor is the intended receiver. Good no call there by the referee. Clock stops at 10:42. Bit surprised to see Emnett and the Huskies elect to air it out on the first play. They haven't had much success on the ground. On the evening, they only have 20 yards rushing. Emnett wants to throw it short. On the near side, it's incomplete. Pass intended for Jaden Thomas. He caught one of the 2 touchdown passes from Emnett. The offense has gone cold. They do have a touchdown in the second half. That touchdown that came in the third quarter, enough to give the Huskies a 21-16 lead. The Dons have had multiple chances to punch it into the end zone, especially in that second quarter, but they ended with 3 field goals. 3rd down and 10. Bozeman, the deep back. It's a fake to him. Pass over to Jaden Thomas. Thomas has enough room to get to the 30. Tackle there by Patton, but it's enough for a Huskies first down. Tight end down on the formation. They hand it off up the middle to Blanco. Blanco rumbles ahead to the 40. Well, that's Bozeman back in the backfield. Gets all the way to the 41, and it's another Huskies first down. Just under 10 minutes left to go now. We'll see how the Dons respond after a couple first downs given up. They need to stop here. They have to keep East LA off the scoreboard. Emnett now looks back to the referee as he looks to chew off more time off the play clock. Wallace Falemu comes in like a missile and lays out Bozeman. Bozeman's slow to get up, and they're going to have to stop the clock for an injury timeout. Holy cow, that was a play there by the freshman defensive back. So with Bozeman being attended to by the training staff, we'll cut to a commercial break ourselves. Dons trail 21-16 here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up.
9:14, the clock continues to run. Emnett with Thomas III in the backfield after the Bozeman injury. Second down and 10. Emnett wants to air it out to the near side. Taylor hauls it in right at midfield, and it'll set up third down and 1. Gadsden, the man in coverage, the corner on the near side, on an island that last time. Third down and 1. The Dons faithful here at Eddie West Field looks to make some noise. Emnett with Thomas the third deep in the backfield. Dons look to bring pressure. Falemu creeps up to the line of scrimmage. Wolf and Bagdanoff, the two linebackers in. Now Emnett makes an audible. Emnett wants to throw it to the near side. Taylor makes the grab, across the 40. Drags a few defenders to the 33. Too much space given by Gadsden, the corner. Just one-on-one coverage between him and the corner. Taylor says that's a mismatch. Emnett finds his receiver. Just over 8 minutes now. A very methodical drive this has turned into by the Huskies. Last year, the Dons had a few big plays on defense to seal some games. There's Falemu again, standing up, another running back. We'll see if Thomas the third able to get up under his own power after that hit. Oof. I'm sure he's seeing stars after that one. That's Blanco. So Blanco back into the game for the Huskies. Falemu again, a freshman from Orange Lutheran. Very strong program here in Orange County. Second down and 9. Dons do have 2 timeouts remaining. They trail by 5. Emnett takes the snap, looks to air it out on the near side. Taylor gets past Gadsden, and that could seal it. Makes it a 27-16 game with 7:17 left to go in the fourth quarter. One-on-one coverage again. We've seen the Dons go to that a few times on the backside, putting their corners on an island, and so far it hasn't paid off. Zach Abraham to attempt the point after. PAT is good. It's now a 28-16 contest. Damari Taylor makes 2 big catches, 2 big receiving touchdowns here in the second half. A 57-yarder from Logan Emnett and a 32-yarder from the same quarterback. Taylor, again, that freshman from Long Beach Jordan High School, has a lot of speed, nifty route running. First time he beat Caleb Grant. This last time he beat corner on the near side, Jacob Gadsden. Dons don't have an answer for him in the second half. Now they need to score quickly and either onside it or force a 3 and out so they can get the ball back relatively quickly. Remember, there is the 2-minute timeout that stops the clock. Abraham sets the ball on the tee. Gomez and Abad back deep to return. It's a low line drive. Abad picks it up at the 17. Abad cuts outside, lots of room for the freshman. He steps out of bounds at the 40. So we'll see what Gil and the Dons offense can do. Backs against the wall, down by 12. 7:11 left to go in this fourth quarter. Still plenty of time. You don't have to rush things just yet, but you do have to play with a sense of urgency. We have seen them go no huddle and play with tempo earlier in the contest. We haven't called Nathan Meek's name a lot. He has good chemistry with his quarterback, Nate Bento, but unable to replicate that chemistry with Justin Gill. Meek to the bottom of the formation. First down and 10. Gill has time, looks over the middle to Beatty. Beatty can't. Beatty's slow to get up. Does have the ball down at the 43-yard line. Beatty had to leap high into the air, leave his feet. I wasn't sure if he made that catch or not, but he did make a fantastic catch through some traffic. did pay the price. Another injury timeout, 7:06 left to go. We'll cut to another commercial break and be back in a sec.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
So Beatty hops off the field under his own power. First down and 10. He does help the Dons move the chain. 6:45 left to go in the game. Gill drops back, looks to the near side, finds Moss. Moss can't haul it in. A bit overthrown. Sets up second down and 10. Clock stops with 6:40. Gomez and Beatty have been the heavily targeted receivers. Gomez has 3 receptions for 127 yards. Beatty has 4 receptions for 45. Moss only has 2 receptions on the evening, his 3rd target. Brandon Garan also has 3 receptions, but those all came early in the first half. Meek, Gomez, and Moss to the near side of the formation. A handoff up the middle to Chinchilla. Chinchilla bounces outside past the 35 and is wrestled down at the 34. The clock will continue to run. 6.5 minutes left to go. 3rd and very short. The Dons can get the first down. Clock will stop as they reset the chains. We'll see what the play call is from the sideline. Fuentes and offensive coordinator Fred Romo signals it in. Hand off to Chinchilla. Squirts up the middle to the 30-yard line. Clock stops at 6:08. They can score before the 4.5 or 4-minute mark. That would be huge for the Dons to prevent their timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. Give their defense a chance to get another 3 and out. Ramirez, a lone receiver on the top of your screen. Huskies only bring 4. Pressure in the face of Gill. He rolls to his right, looks to air it out deep. Moss out of bounds. Did get 2 hands on it. Not a whole lot of room on the near sideline. Clock stops at 5:38. Meek checks out of the game now. We're going to see Braden Downen as the receiver on the far side. He's listed as a quarterback. Freshman from Lakewood. Maybe some trickery going on for the Dons here. Huskies bring pressure up the middle. It's a handoff to Chinchilla. He gets tripped up. Clock continues to run. 3rd and 11 coming up. Dons huddle up. 4 down territory. You don't have to get all 11 yards here on this play, but if you can get 7, maybe 8, make it much more manageable. 4th down. Yard to gain is the 20-yard line of the Huskies. Huskies walk up like they're going to bring pressure. Now they back off. They only rush 4. Gill steps up into the pocket. Whole lots of room. He's brought down from behind at the 24, but he does get about 7 yards. So 4th and about 3. Chinchilla checks out of the game. 4.5 minutes left to go. Big 4th down here for the Dons. If they don't convert here, this pretty much seals it. 3 receivers to the near side of your screen. Downen, the lone receiver at the top. Abad, the deep back. Huskies rush 5. Gill has time. He throws it into the end zone. Moss stopped running his route, and that's because he was held by his defender. The flag comes out, and that's going to be a holding penalty on the defensive back in coverage. That's on Wyrick. Dons get bailed out by another penalty there. 8th penalty on the Huskies this evening. There's been a lot of penalties on the offensive end. Not a whole lot of penalties on the defensive end. But that moves the chains, and that puts the Dons at 1st and goal from the Huskies' 8-yard line. Down in the lone receiver on the top of your screen. Gill hands it off to Abad, spun down at the line of scrimmage. Great penetration there from Nazir Abram. The Huskies in this drive have blitzed that double A linebacker into the A gaps. They've been able to get through the line. Less than 4 minutes left to go. Beatty checks back in. A good sign to see him back on the field. Moss in the slot on the near side of your screen. Beatty looks that direction, wants to get it to Moss. Moss makes the grab, makes the first defender miss. No, he's wrestled down at about the 7, they say 8-yard line. So back to the original line of scrimmage, a short gain. 3rd down coming up. 3rd and goal, 4-down territory. Can they get a chunk play to get them closer to the end zone? Timeout called from the far sideline. Bobby Godinez and the coaching staff want to talk things over. My name is Noah Alvarez saying thanks for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. An exciting finish brews. 3:19 left to go. 28-16 is the score. Who's going to come up big for the Dons in the red zone? The only touchdown earlier today came on a run play by Brandon Giron. He has 12 rushes for 42 yards. Gill has been effective on the ground. 7 rushes for 27. A lot of those have been scrambles on broken plays. Beatty has the most receptions with 4. But Gomez has 127 yards. Can he make a play down here in the red zone? Gill on the evenings, 14 of 32. So the completion percentage, not going to look great at the end of the evening, but he has kept this team in it. We were unsure of how this Dons offense would look. They've been very competent tonight. Chance to pull off an upset and get their first victory of the season. Third down and goal from the 8-yard line. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Abad, the deep back. The Huskies send pressure. Another short route to the Moss on the near side. And that's Cook. We called his name a lot in the first half. He swats that one down at the line of scrimmage. 4th down and goal for the Dons here. If the Huskies can get another stop, that'll seal their first victory of the season. 3:16 left to go. Meek back into the formation. He's attached to the line on the bottom of your screen. Beatty, the lone receiver, to the top. Moss in motion. They motion him back out to the flats. Moss makes the catch, shoots ahead, dives into the end zone. Moss, what a run after the catch. And makes it a 28-22 game with 3 minutes left. That play was made by Moss all by himself in the flats. He had 2 defenders over pursue, and then there was a valley that opened up. He was able to dive into the end zone and beat the defenders pursuing from the backside. Hernandez comes in for the extra point. One more player runs onto the field. The Dons were short 1. Play clock at 2, 1. They just do get it off. Nope. Whistles stop the play, and it's a delay of game. So one player forgot that he was on the PAT unit. That backs up the Dons 5 extra yards. They'll attempt this PAT from the 7. PAT would make it a 5-point game. PAT is up and good through the uprights. 28-23 is the score. Dons trail by 5 with 3:09 left to go in this one. An exciting finish. Dons are trailing 14-3, and they continuously clawed their way back. They, at one point, at the beginning of the third quarter, had a 16-14 lead, and the Huskies were able to put up 14 quick points on them. Ebnett has some chemistry with Damari Taylor as they scored the last 2 touchdowns. But a nice drive there as Justin Gill caps off a long drive to Deacon Moss. An 11-play, 60-yard drive that took 4 minutes. Ideally, if you're the Dons, you would hope that take less than time off the clock. But they do get the touchdown they needed. Now it looks like they will attempt an onside kick, or at least ELAC thinks so. They're all bunched up. Lucas Raya, first time we've called his name this evening, does boot this one deep. Only player back deep for the Huskies is Alexander. He takes it from inside his 15 and gets out of bounds at the 20. 3:05 left to go in this game. Do the Dons have a big play in them? Earlier we were talking about last season. The Dons had key victories against Glendale College and Chaffey College thanks to plays late in the game by their defensive unit. Against Glendale, they were able to get pressure in the face of the quarterback. He fumbled the ball. They picked it up. Owen Tesh scored a touchdown on the fumble recovery that allowed them to win. And then against Chaffey College, it was Owen Tesh again. As it's the first play, run play on first down. He passes the 30, and there Blanco goes across midfield, wrestles down at the 19. A touchdown saving tackle there by the Dons. Holy cow. We mentioned it earlier, Blanco has been the better of the 3 running backs this evening, but he hasn't gone the handoff to show it. That time they do hand it off to Blanco on the very first play of this drive, and that could almost steal it. 2.5 minutes left to go. The Dons do have the 2-minute timeout, as well as 2 of their own timeouts. They hand it off to Blanco, who cuts right. Falemu there. Blanco pushes the pile ahead to the 13. Clock stops at 2:10. So during this timeout, we'll play out some different scenarios. And the Dons trail 28-23 with 2:10 left. Because the Huskies are so deep into their red zone, let's say the Dons do hold the Huskies to only a field goal, then it'll be 31-23. That's an 8-point game. You would take that if you're the Dons. As they add some more time, 2 minutes and 14 will be put onto the scoreboard. But again, a field goal wouldn't be the worst of things for the Dons. It would be an 8-point game. If the Dons are somehow able to force a turnover and keep this a 5-point deficit, that would be even bigger. But of course, they cannot allow the Huskies to not only find the end zone, but with only 1 timeout remaining and the 2-minute timeout, if the Huskies do get another timeout, or another first down, the Huskies do get another first down, that would pretty much seal the game as well, as the Dons wouldn't be able to stop the clock anymore in this game. We're going to see Naea back in the game to the left of the formation, alongside Ebnett. Blanco, the deep back. He's earned these reps here at the end of the game. A handoff to Blanco. Up the middle. He has some blockers in front of him. Pushes the pile ahead to the 5-yard line. And we just talked about it. And a flag comes in on the far side. That could come back to bite the Huskies. There was some extra shoving going on after the play. Matthew Quijada. Ooh. They're calling it on the defense, even though we saw Quijada throw one of the players to the ground and then made a celebration dance in the face of the Dons player. Maybe the referee saw something we did not see from up here in the press box. Just over 2 minutes. Don't think Ebnett and the Huskies are going to snap this one. 2-minute timeout. Dons have 1 timeout remaining. Touchdown here would seal it. But the Huskies do have the opportunity to waste as much time off the clock, and the Dons are only able to stop the clock 1 more time this evening. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in, wherever you may have been tuning in from, whether you're watching live or watching the replay at a later date. Huskies outgaining the Dons 388 to 348 in total yardage. They have 357 yards through the air, only 31 yards on the ground. Remember, at this level, they do count sacks against the rushing total. But again, the player of the game has to be Bernardo Blanco. He has 5 rushes for 85 yards, and it was the 63-yard rush to begin this drive on the very first play from the Huskies' 20-yard line that put them in the red zone. That's pretty much sealed tonight's contest for the ELAC Huskies as they seek their first victory of the year. Huskies come out in I formation. Andrade, the fullback. Another handoff to Blanco. Blanco met at the line of scrimmage. Brought down at the 5. Loss of 1 on the play. When do the Dons elect to use their timeout? Fuentes says now. Clock stops with 1:51. Just to finish the thought from earlier, it was the sack fumble and a touchdown recovery on the fumble by Owen Tesh last year against Glendale College. And then it was Owen Tesh who had a pick 6 against Chaffey College in the very final minutes of that contest. 2 big plays late by the Dons that allowed them to pull off some close wins last year. Tonight, unless the Dons can make a big stop and punch the ball out here, that's the only way they can claw back into this one. Down by 5, 28-23 is the score. 1:51 left to go in the contest. It's been a fun one. Huskies and the Dons meet for the first time since 2017. Next week, the Huskies take on Fullerton College on the campus of ELOC. Kickoff set at 6 p.m. while the Dons travel to Allen Hancock. That's over in Santa Maria. Kickoff set at 2 p.m. I formation again for Ebnett. Blanco, the deep back. Gets the handoff up the middle. Has a surge of speed, and he gets into the end zone. That seals it. Huskies up 34-23. 1:45 left to go. So Zach Abram to kick the extra point to make this a 35-23 game. It's up and through. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff. Dons trail 35-23 with 1:45 left to go.
This is it.
Have a good first day.
You too, Mom.
Everyone's journey looks a little different at Santa Ana College, whether you're just starting out or starting a new chapter. With flexible classes, valuable student services, and a range of degrees and certificate programs, students of all kinds can find inspiration and empowerment at Santa Ana College. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Abraham has this ball on the tee. Gomez. It looks like Shaw back deep to return. Squib kick. The up back takes it at the 25. Rumbles ahead to the 41. Didn't see a number, but once we do, we'll relay that name to you. It's Wallace Falemu. We've called his name a few times on defense. The Dons offense back onto the field. They trail by 12. They'll need a very quick touchdown. And then hope to recover an onside kick. Beatty and Gomez to the top of your screen. Abad the deep back. Moss in the slot on the near side. First down and 10. Gill drops back. Airs it out to Beatty. That's Gomez who makes the catch on the 46-yard line. Quick out route to Gomez. Moves the chains. And if the Huskies are going to continue to play this soft of coverage, why not take what the defense gives you? Ramirez, the other receiver in the game, down at the very bottom of your screen. 3 receivers to the right of the formation. Gill has time, throws to Beatty on the far side. He steps out of bounds. 1 yard short of the first down at the 36. I say 37, second down and 2. Clock stops at 1:27. Gill and the Dons huddle up with the clock stopped. At the very least, if Gill has to continue starting for the Dons going forward, he's built some chemistry with some of these receivers and showed a lot of promise in his first start for the Dons this season. Back up to quarterback Nate Bento, who was knocked out of the game last week. Gill steps up in the pocket, finds Moss. He's down at the 13. Clock will momentarily stop. For the chains to get set. Gill in the offense, back quickly, and he spikes it right away. $1:19 left to go in this game. Don's looking to strike quickly. And by the deep back, Beatty by himself. Jameer Craddock, the corner in coverage on that top of your screen. Huskies only rush 4. Wide open is Gomez over the middle, and the Dons still have some fight in them. Gomez slips down on the concrete, but it's now a 35-29 game with 1:14 left to go. Too quick and too easy for the Dons. 1:14. They do have to get the onside kick. A 17-yard pass from Justin Gill to Damian Gomez. Gomez, a rather spectacular evening. 5 catches for 157 yards and 1 touchdown. Hernandez puts it up and through the uprights. And it's going to come down to an onside kick, folks. Always an exciting play in football, regardless of the level. Things have changed since you now have to announce it's going to be an onside kick or not, especially at the NFL level. Takes some of the excitement away. The Dons and their special teams unit will attempt an onside kick here with the 1:14 left to go. Looks like Devin Coleman, freshman from El Dorado High School, marches his way out. We did see on the last kickoff Lucas Raya, but he just sent that one deep. The Huskies bring everyone in tight in that 10-yard box. It all comes down to this. 1:14 left to go. Coleman sizes it up on the near side, takes a wicked bounce, but no problem for Naiea as he corrals it, and that will seal it. The Dons can't stop the clock. So ELAC should only have to take 2, maybe 3 kneel downs and earn their first victory of the 2025 season. Again, they're led by head coach Bobby Godinez, who takes over the program after Arnie Robles leaves for a Division I job. It was late in the summer. Godinez did serve as the head coach from 2016 to 2023. The Dons and first-year head coach Simon Fuentes still look for their first victory on the season. Ebnett under center takes the first kneel down, and the clock will run. Game clock will go to about 30 seconds. Again, the upcoming schedule for the Dons after this week, they'll travel to Allen Hancock on the 20th. On the 27th, they'll host Citrus College. Kickoff set at 6 p.m. They'll have a bye week the week of October 5th. On October 11th, they'll host Mount SAC. Kickoff also set at 6 p.m. for that evening's game. They'll travel to Long Beach City on the 18th. Host Ventura College on the 25th here at Eddie West Field. Kickoff set at 1 p.m. And then both the games in November. On the 1st, they'll travel to North Park. And at the 8th, they'll travel to Santa Barbara City College. 7 more games remain, and they're all conference games here for the Santa Ana Dons this season. They fall to 0-3 with tonight's loss, while the ELAC Huskies advance to 1-2. The Huskies next week will host the Fullerton Hornets. Kickoff set at 6 p.m. on the campus of East Los Angeles. And my name is Noah Alvarez. Big thanks to Cammie and Sal for helping set up the broadcast and helping with the numbers and the tough uniforms that we had to deal with this evening. Until next time, October 27th, September 27th is when the Dons host the Citrus College Owls. Until then, we wish you a good night and get home safe.